Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
You're listening to a live internet broadcast on Pure Rock Radio.
At PureRockRadio.net.
Welcome to the Used Bin. All music, all the time. What are you listening to? Used Bin Radio.
Well, baby, I'm easy, I'm easy, I'm easy, I'm an easy man. Well, baby, I'm easy, I'm easy, I'm easy.
I'm an easy man.
Yes, you are.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, it's Tuesday night, and welcome to Used Bin Radio.
How the fuck are you, Mama?
Outstanding. Hey, it's good to have you back.
It is nice to be back. I missed my little home here on Tuesday nights, but I was a little busy with some other stuff last night.
Indeed, you were. I want to say special thanks to everybody last week who joined me on my little solo venture and our little trip through Bootleg Lane. And
I heard you had a nice time.
It was a good time. I had my hands full, but it was a good time. And especially want to thank everybody who sent in all of those wonderful, insightful, and comical emails who kept me on my toes last week. So that was fun. And speaking of on your toes, I know you've been on your toes the last couple of days.
Yes, I am working on a lot of sleep deprivation.
Nice,
but,
nice.
That's the way it goes when you have a new baby in the house, and it's all good. Believe me, it's couldn't be any better. Couldn't have asked for anything better. So I'm happy, and that's it, man. I'm ready to rock because I feel like I'm out of the loop. I feel like I've missed like a full week of my musical life because my musical life has consisted of a lot of Rockabye Baby.
Yeah.
And a lot of Renee and Jeremy, our buddy Jeremy Toback.
Very nice, very nice.
And I know that you had asked me last week what the first.
I was just gonna bring that up. So, officially, what was the first song you've played for the baby?
Well, it was I played him the Renee and Jeremy record, the first Renee and Jeremy world. I think it's a big world out there, something like that.
Okay.
And it was great. It was so great, and he loved it. And I don't know how much he's actually hearing of all that stuff, being that he listened to Renee and Jeremy when he was, I don't know, 4 days old or 3.5 days old,
right.
But it was still great. I was really happy that it made me happy anyway because I could sing along to it while we were feeding him and doing all that dad mom stuff.
Right.
So it was cool. And then we played a lot of Rockabye Baby. So I listened to a lot of Queen, a lot of lullaby versions of Green Day,
right.
A lot of lullaby Welcome to the Jungle, and it was cool. So it's all good.
Good times.
I cannot wait for this kid to be able to understand the amount of metal and progressive rock that he will be listening to.
He's got a playlist already pre-selected for him.
Every day when I go to look at like music or whatever, I think, I can't wait to fucking play him this.
Right.
Oh, this is going to be so great when I get to sit down and actually explain 2112.
Sure. Oh, that's going to be a banner day.
Yeah.
That's going to be, for you, that's going to be the equivalent of the great father and son talk.
Right.
It'll be like, son, you and I have to have a talk. This is 2112,
That's right.
And welcome to it.
Yep. I can't wait. It's exciting stuff.
That is. That's going to be a banner day.
So I think a lot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I feel like I'm out of the musical loop. You know what I mean? Like I don't really kind of know what's going on. So I'm interested to hear what everyone has to say. And
Right.
I'm interested to take some phone calls tonight.
Sure. And speaking of which, you can give us a call because we are live in Los Angeles. And you can reach us at 310-840-4438 and let us know what you're listening to and what's on your mind. And of course, you can always drop us an email at usedbinradio@usedbin.com and give us any feedback on the show, which is what a lot of you did on the PureRockRadio.net survey.
That's right. Wait, before I do that, I just
sure.
want to do one quick thing.
Sure.
I wanted last thing on the baby and all that.
Right.
I wanted to thank everybody for their emails that I got over the week and all the phone calls and all that kind of stuff. The well wishes and the congratulations and all that. Very nice of you. Especially, I got a great email from Prog Mom.
Oh yeah,
and great email from Rich at Prog Rock Radio and
Pure Rock Radio.
Him too.
Him too.
And Snowy White and all those just really great, encouraging emails and. That's it. So I'm glad to be part of the club.
Very nice.
That's it.
Very nice.
There you go. Now, shall we read a survey?
Yeah, I was just going to mention that on purerockradio.net/survey, right?
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
You can fill out the Pure Rock Radio survey, which is great because it helps not only Pure Rock Radio with their podcasting, but it helps us find out what you like or don't like about the show. We've been getting some really great responses. One of them was we were just reading before the show, and we got all tickled because it was such glowing praise.
That's right.
And
we haven't gotten to the bad ones yet.
We haven't gotten. We're saving those till after we're off the air because it'll bum us out.
Right.
But go check out that podcast survey, and that will be very useful for you and for me and for Brad and for everyone involved.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, I should tell you that in about a half hour or so, we are going to have Pearl Aday on the show.
Yes.
And Pearl has a record that just came out today, Immaculate White Fox, and that's exciting. It's a great record. You can go check it out. You can check her out on her MySpace page, which is myspace.com/Pearl. You
That's
can
right.
listen to some of the tunes there.
If you're not familiar with Pearl Aday, by the way, you will, which rhymes, you will know that, or should know that she is Meatloaf's daughter,
Right.
and actually toured as a singer in Meatloaf's band for a while, as well as touring with Motley Crue for a long time. She's also married to Scott Ian of Anthrax, who plays on the new Pearl album.
Right.
So.
And they're going to be on Jimmy Kimmel Live tomorrow night, so you can check that out if you want to see her play and see the band. And like Joe said, Scott's in the band, and I'm going to tell you, this album fucking rocks. It's not, when you hear maybe Meatloaf's daughter, you might think of something a little more on the theatrical end.
Right.
This is not that. This is much more on the blues side and really on the metal side. There's some really heavy songs on this record. We're going to play them for you a little later on.
Very nice.
So that'll be good. That's coming up in about a half hour.
Very nice.
We have Rachel tonight.
We do indeed. We'll be talking a little bit about the music news.
Good.
And other than that, what else have you been up to? Has it just been all baby stuff?
Dude, it's lack of sleep and poopy diapers.
Very nice.
Welcome to my world, pal.
Okay.
Yep. And spit up on my shirt. I was just looking at my shirt before the show. Dude, I've got Ethan's spit up all over my shirt.
Nice. It's
And
like a little souvenir.
Yeah, not really though, because if you smell it, it doesn't smell good.
It's like Zuzu's petals.
Do you want to smell it?
It's okay.
Okay, just checking.
It's okay.
So yeah, that's really been my world. That and I did watch. I was telling you earlier that I don't know 1:30 in the morning or something. We woke up because the baby was up,
Right.
and I flipped on TV and I was watching the Craig Ferguson show,
Right.
and I saw Steve Jones on, and he played with I think the name of the band.
The one from the Sex Pistols, not the one from the Unforgiven, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Right. So funny. So he played with, I think the band was called Hot Rats.
Okay.
And they played a version of EMI, the Sex Pistols EMI.
Right.
And it was great. It was really a good version. But I'm not sure if I was really tired and like I wasn't seeing straight or anything like that. But I swear there were only 3 people in the band, including Steve Jones. And I know he's not in the band. He was just playing with them.
So a singer, Steve Jones on guitar, and a drummer?
No, it was 2 guitars and a drum.
Oh, okay.
But I swear there wasn't. I mean, maybe there was a bass player on there, or maybe one of the guys was playing bass.
Right.
I know Jonesy wasn't playing bass.
Right.
But I didn't see it. So if anyone has any information on this, I'm totally curious. I didn't look it up or anything like that today, but it was really great. And I was blown away how good of a version of EMI it was. Really, really good.
Cool. I'll
Yeah.
have to check that out, see what Steve Jones is up to. That's always a good time.
That's that's about the extent of what I've been listening to lately. What about you? I would imagine you've got lots to tell me.
I got lots to tell you. Well, what I've been listening to, I'll get to that in a little while. I want to tell you about NAMM.
Good.
I went to the NAMM show. Now, for those of you who are not music industry insiders and aren't in the know, because trust me, this is the portion of the evening where I'm going to be name dropping like nobody's business. The NAMM show is the annual National Association of Music Merchants. It is a massive festival or a convention that takes place here in Southern California every year, and it is a gathering of all of the manufacturers of every aspect of music, whether it's equipment, drums, keyboards, lighting, mixing boards, anything related to do with making or recording or performing music. I've been going to this off and on since the 80s, and back in the 80s, it used to be more of a sort of a rock star party event. I mean,
Right. Sure, I did.
you remember, and
Yeah.
it would just be like this whole sort of drinking and cocaine binge thing, you know, for 4 days with all the rock stars just partying.
That was the music business back
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
80s. Yeah.
And now it's actually, it was pretty much the same thing, except without the cocaine, I guess.
Oh, okay. All right.
But there was a lot of drinking
And
involved.
everyone's just a hair older.
And everyone's just a hair older. And but it was a really good time. And one of the great things about it is, you know, it's really just industry people. And so there's not a lot of apprehension on the artist's part to walk around and just go up to you and talk to you and mingle or even impromptu jam with people. Because it's not that sort of, you know, fans gathering and hovering and getting clingy. It's not really that kind of situation. So everybody's pretty much at ease once they're inside the convention hall. In past years, I remember one of the great things was being able to walk over to, like, Remo drums or something like one of their booths and sitting down and just, you know, start playing a drum set, and then somebody else would pick up a bass or somebody else would pick up a guitar, and suddenly you look up and I'm jamming with Billy Sheehan or something like
Right.
that, and it's amazing. It's
And
really
that's what
good
NAMM's
fun.
all about.
That's what NAMM's all about. You get to play with the toys, you get to network and meet people, and of course I was there with one agenda other than to play with the toys,
Right.
and that was to pass out some used bin radio business cards and try to get some guests. And I'll give you a partial list of some of the people that I talked to also.
Okay.
But before I do that, I want to tell you how this all ended, and then I'll tell you how I got to that spot.
It's like Memento.
Yeah,
We're
it
starting
is.
at the end.
We're going to start at the end.
Okay.
It ends with me at a table at the in the Hilton Hotel bar with the members of Opeth and Asia doing shots, talking about gall.
Talking about gall?
Yes.
Nice.
That's how it ends.
excellent.
Let me tell you how it starts. So I show up at the Anaheim Convention Center, and I went down with my good friend Glenn LaFerman, legendary rock and roll photographer, which was great because he knows everybody. He's been shooting all of the best guitarists in the business for 30 years. He knows everybody, so he was great about introducing me to people. So I would have an in, and he would go, "Oh, this is my friend Joe, and he's got this radio show. You should go on there and talk about tunes."
Right.
So I had a great in, and he was really a class act about that. Also, another photographer friend of mine, Gene Kirkland, same thing. He was really good about setting me up. So during the course of the day, because of the people that I was with, I got to talk to and present the card to and pitch the show to the likes of Slash,
Great.
and Neil Schon, and Warren DeMartini, and George Lynch, who said he would come on the show if he could talk about philosophy.
George Lynch?
Yes.
Soul.
He doesn't want to talk about music. He wants to talk about philosophy.
We can't bring up any music?
I don't know what that was all about, but that was a little wacky. Some of the guys from Queensryche, same thing. Mike Inez from Alice in Chains. Had a great long chat with Jeff Scott Soto. He's ready to do the show.
Dude, I am a Viking.
Yeah. Kyle Gass from Tenacious D was receptive.
Nice.
Who else? Zach Wilde.
Oh, good.
Yeah, who's in good health.
Looking well?
He's looking well.
Good.
And Eddie Kramer. I got to meet Eddie Kramer.
Excellent.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's a great guest to get on the show.
Yeah, I don't know if we get him, though, but he took the card. We'll see how that goes.
Do we have to blow someone to get him?
I don't know. So
That's great.
So that was good. Got to play with all the toys. I was playing, with all the guitars and playing with all the drums and spending hours on all the different keyboards and Moog synthesizers. I got to play John Bonham's drum kit. I mean, this was good stuff.
That's good
This was
stuff.
good fun. And watching some great impromptu jams, like watching Brad Gillis over at the Mesa Boogie amp booth, just going off on like a whole medley of Night Ranger riffs, just to test out the gear. Same thing with Warren DeMartini, just going off on Rat stuff. Or another
Can he play?
highlight.
Does he know how to play?
He knows how to play. I'll tell you who was great.
Easy.
Who was great.
Wait. Easy with that excited look on your face.
No, he was great because it wasn't within the confines of doing just Rat.
Okay,
he was
fair
going
enough.
off. He was
Okay.
soloing, and it was really quite
Right.
spectacular.
Okay.
But the other guitar highlight was Michael Wilton from Queensryche.
Yeah.
They set him up in this little 4x4 box of a room,
Right.
so he could test out and present like some new bells and whistles on some new amps and some new guitar foot pedals.
Right.
And they basically set him up with like a CD playing in the background or whatever of some Queensryche stuff, and him soloing over it.
Oh, that's cool.
But I mean, it was so weird because he's literally in this 4x4 box,
right?
And like a fishbowl, and people just kind of like gathered around with their arms crossed, just watching. It's a very weird situation for him.
Well, that's it. It's funny. NAMM is funny because it's like what I remember from being at NAMM. It's almost like being at a progressive rock show where it's all musicians and it's all industry people, and everybody stands there. You have to really blow them away. So everyone's got their arms crossed. And
it's hard to impress this crowd because
it's
this
very
is not
judgmental. It's very like, I can play better than that. And is this guy any good? And is he technically proficient? Or can he do this? Or can he do that? And so you have to... It's like these guys almost have to overplay to sort of impress somebody.
That's true. And it's funny because I overheard actual, conversations just like that. But even more so than I could play it better than that. The more common comments were, "Oh, my tone is much better than that."
Yeah, right.
Because it's everybody here has some proficiency of playing,
right.
And so it isn't the playing technique that's blowing people away. It's the tone. It's the gear. These are gearheads.
What kind of strings are those?
Yeah,
I wouldn't quite use those pickups.
Exactly.
Those pickups aren't what I. He's lost a little bit of his chops, and you can tell because of the tone and the pickups. Oh, fucking jackasses!
Absolutely.
I would have. I almost want to start conversations. It's like being at a Star Trek convention.
Yes.
And you want to like pick a fight with somebody on an intellectual level.
Right.
Like, he can't really play anymore, can he? Huh, this guy kind of sucks, doesn't he? Meanwhile, it's Jimmy Page you're talking about.
Right. Exactly. Jimmy Page wasn't there, but there were actually some big names walking around too. Of course, you couldn't get really close to him because those were sort of the autograph signings. So like Gene Simmons, couldn't get anywhere near him. Although I would have loved to have given him a used bin card and say, "Come on, Gene."
Any chance to hear your own voice?
Right. Yeah, he would have been at that.
Sure.
So there were some big names there too, but just a lot of gearheads, and so it was a lot of fun just doing that whole thing. Also, some great performances during the course of the event. The traditional Saturday night NAMM jam that they call it is the one sort of big all-star jam that's sanctioned by the convention. Of course, there's lots of other shows at nearby clubs and venues, but the one big show that's always sanctioned is the NAMM Jam. And this year it was hosted by Vinnie Paul of Pantera, or Damage Plan, depending on who you ask, and featured like a big all-star jam with guys from Slayer, Testament, Arch Enemy, Megadeth did a set, Collective Soul did a set, LA Guns. Uli Roth got up with some of the guys from the Scorpions apparently and did a set. So big all-star jam kind of thing, and so that's always fun.
That's fun.
And then
now, I really quick, I'm sorry, but I know that there's some off-site shows,
right?
And I had read recently, because I know Mike Portnoy was there at NAMM,
right?
And I read that he was going to do what they called the Hale West Coast show,
right?
And although I think it was missing one of the guys that's usually in Hale. So it was sort of Hale.
And I think that was at a club in Anaheim.
Okay,
but
you didn't go to that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
And I probably would have gone either to the NAMM Jam or the Hale show if I was going to go to either. There were also things as far away as West Hollywood going on.
Okay.
Like the Cat Club featured another all-star jam, albeit sort of like the B list. It was like, guys from like Bang Tango and guys from like,
Faster Pussycat.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Okay. Although I did see Mark from the Bullet Boys.
Mark Terrain?
Yes. You would not even recognize him anymore.
Really?
Yeah, he used to be that big, muscular...
David Lee Roth
with the blonde mane.
Yeah.
He lost a ton of weight. He's really not weight that not that he was heavy before, but he lost a lot of muscle.
Oh, he lost? Is he lean?
Yeah, he's just really lean and skinny now, and he's got short, jet black hair. And it's funny because I did a double take because I recognized the face,
right?
And if it wasn't for Glenn LaFerman, I wouldn't have realized who it was at all.
Does he look sick?
No. He looks great.
Oh, okay.
But he just looks really, really skinny, like he's off the steroids now.
Wow. How wacky is that?
Yeah, so I wouldn't have recognized him. But so anyway, I would have gone probably to either the Portnoy show or the NAMM Jam. Although the way things twisted and turned, I ended up going with Glenn and hooked up with Gene Kirkland and his fiance over at one of the big parties in the front bar it was either the Hilton or the Marriott. At this point, I don't even remember.
Right.
There were a lot of cocktails involved and several rounds of shots. And at one point, Gene introduced me to a guitarist. And our table was one of the hottest tables, I got to say, because everybody was coming over to say hi to Gene.
Right.
I wish I could say they were coming over to, talk about Used-Bin Radio, but they were coming over to say hi to Gene.
Next year they will.
Because Gene knows everybody. And so our table was Zach Wilde and Mike Inez, and like I said, the guys from Opeth and John Payne from Asia. So I'm sitting at this table, and I'm talking to this guitarist who Gene introduces me to, and to be honest, I didn't know who he was at first.
Okay.
Until 10 minutes into the conversation talking about music and metal in general and the fact that he's from Sweden, and suddenly it kind of all clicked that he was one of the other guys in Opeth. That we got to talking about his band, and I explained, I'm a huge fan. I didn't recognize him because he only joined on the last record.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is he an original member or no? But there's only one original member besides.
Then Michael joined us. So Michael Ackerfeld came over, and we were hanging out with John Payne, which for me was a weird mixture of worlds, because here I got one of the guys from Asia.
Yeah.
And one of the guys from Opeth. And the three of us are having this round table discussion. And after a few shots, I ended up getting on my little kick about Gorgoroth and asking Michael.
How did that come up?
Just because I'm talking to Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth about, what Opeth does and about black metal in general. And somehow we got onto Norwegian black metal. And of course, first thing that I think of is Gaul. What's up with Gorgoroth? What's up with Gaul? And he told me that Gaul is gay.
What? What? Does he sell women's underpants?
Yeah, he does. Michael told me he's got a female clothing line coming out, which, of course, we knew that. But it was just so surreal to be having this conversation with Michael. And
what's his take on this whole black metal scene?
He likes some of it. He said he was much more into pre-Gaul Gorgoroth. Mm-hmm. But it was just a whole comical scene to be having this. Just very surreal having that conversation with him.
Did you tell him that Gaul is the unofficial mascot of Used-Bin Radio?
I didn't, but I should have.
Yes.
Almost as weird as that conversation, I guess, was admitting to John Payne that the first time I heard Heat of the Moment, I didn't like it.
Well, that's okay. I've done that with people before.
Yeah, well, I had to explain, because that when I first heard about Asia, God, this is what, 80, 81, when I first heard about Asia, this is pre-internet. All we knew was that it was one of the guys from Yes, one of the guys from King Crimson.
Right.
We knew the pedigree.
The Prague supergroup.
Yeah, we knew the pedigree, and I remember tickets even went on sale for the LA date before the record was even out. So I had my tickets. I was excited. I knew the history of all these bands, and I had an expectation of 25-minute epics.
Sure,
it was going to be Tales of Crimson, Topographic, Tarkus, or whatever.
Not to be.
And I remember buying the album the day it came out and seeing the Roger Dean album cover. And this is exactly what I told John Payne. It was like I saw the album cover. I was so excited. I brought it home, put the needle down, because this is vinyl, ladies and gentlemen. And hear Heat of the Moment. I'm like, what?
3-minute pop songs.
Are you kidding me? So I had explained to him that I wasn't in until I saw the show, and then it was all good. And he laughed. He thought that was really funny.
Right.
So
John Kalodner signed them.
Yeah. Oh, he had great things to say about Geffen and how important that whole arrangement was. Yeah.
Look, it's funny. I would imagine that would be an interesting conversation to have with Kalodner one day. Would be about making that record and what that was like for him, knowing that these guys come from, their pedigree are 20-minute epics and big long prog songs. How did he convince these guys to do these?
See, I don't think it took any convincing. And this is just in retrospect, but if you go back and listen to John Wetton, who I think was really the driving force in that whole situation, if you go back and listen to what he was doing after King Crimson, after UK, he did like 1 or 2 solo albums. Right. And he was really already starting to teeter on shorter and pop songs. Even on the last UK album, Danger Money, where he was doing like the power ballad Rendezvous 602, he was already, or the song Danger Money, he was already getting into some pop territory.
Right.
So I think it was just a natural for him to go that route.
Well, then maybe that's what drew Kalodner to them.
Yeah.
It was that.
And
wacky. It's a wacky. To me, that's a crazy combination.
Yeah,
because,
absolutely.
Because if you know Kalodner's pedigree, which was all rock bands,
Right?
It's just and Cher, rock bands, and Cher and John Lennon.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the Prague supergroup. It's funny, but I will say this: just I don't know why, but I was on the Kalodner website, and he used to be a writer. I think I sent you this. He was a writer, just a regular publicist.
Back east, like Rhode Island or something.
In the 70s, and he wrote a review of a King Crimson show, which was really just
Love that.
It was just kooky to read, like Kalodner reviewing a King Crimson show, but yet he's responsible for Aerosmith, the revitalization of Aerosmith.
Right.
Very strange. Very strange.
Indeed. So it all sort of culminated with me and Michael Eckerfeldt and John Payne of Asia doing shots around a table, talking about Gaul, talking about how bad the first Asia record was, and listening to a bad country western band playing in the lobby.
Perfect.
Just a whole surreal scene we had going on there. So I had a great NAMM experience.
I wish you could have asked Michael Eckerfeldt one question.
What was that?
How many robes does Mike Portnoy have? Is it just one robe, or does he have many robes?
I can tell you he's not a fan. He's not a fan of Marillion.
Really?
Because as you know, every time I come walking into the studio on Tuesday nights, I've got my Marillion bag with me.
Right.
And I had my Marillion bag with me at NAMM because it had my clipboard and all my business cards.
Right. Very professional.
Very professional.
We are Usman Radio.
We are.
We're extremely professional.
And so he was not impressed with Marillion. He said that was the kind of prog he didn't like. So we got into that a little bit, but
that's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. Was he a Genesis fan? He is a Genesis fan.
Yeah, he liked that stuff. I think he's more a purist of the 70s prog rock, the original stuff, the King Crimson, certainly Floyd he was a fan of.
Right.
Genesis, probably yes.
He just
kind of
must
stuff.
not like the heavy
He doesn't,
keyboards.
Yeah,
and
it sounds like he
production.
wasn't a fan of 80s production.
Right. I very much understand that.
Yeah. Some great quotes, by the way. Speaking of Michael Eckerfeldt, if you check out the most recent issue of Classic Rock's Prog Rock magazine,
right.
Which has Mike Portnoy, Michael Eckerfeldt from Opeth, and from Big Elf,
the singer for Big Elf.
The singer, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
They're on the cover. Check that out. Some great quotes in there. And so, all in all, a great NAMM experience.
Great.
I will say this. Like I said, I saw a lot of the impromptu sets and impromptu jams and that kind of thing. There were some more traditional showcase sets from bands. A lot of them either unsigned or just signed, and no extra charge. I'm going to plug a band that I saw that I thought were great. Maybe listeners could go check them out on, I think they've got a MySpace page. Band out of Nashville, Tennessee. No, they're not a country band. Called Otto Vaughn, and that's AUTOVAUGHN. Little poppy, very rock, kind of heavy at times, but some great melodies. Really good.
Okay.
Check them out. Otherwise, the other thing you're going to want to check out is Pearl Aday at myspace.com/Pearl, who we are going to have on in just a few moments.
Yes, and her record is out today, Little Immaculate White Fox. And so you can go pick that up at your local record store if you have one, or Amazon.com, or any other place that you tend to buy records. And you can watch her tomorrow night on Jimmy Kimmel Live. She'll be performing. So let's play a tune, and then we'll get Pearl on the line. And we will dissect and bisect the new Pearl record.
How about that?
What are we playing?
This is Check Out Charlie by Pearl Aday.
This song rocks.
There you go.
Show me how you got it tied up and beat it.
Bin Radio. What are you listening to? And welcome back to Use Bin Radio. Well, we're having some issues with the phone lines, so we were hoping to have Pearl Aday on the line, but we will come back to that in just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
So Pearl, if you're listening, we're sorry. We'll get a hold of you in a few minutes. And so while we're waiting for that to work itself out,
What have you been listening to?
I could tell you what I've been listening to.
Groovy.
I've been there. See, I need my
Because
notes.
I stole your notes?
I need my notes. I've been listening to a bunch of weird stuff, actually, because it appeared on so many of the best of lists for 2009. I gave the Grizzly Bear CD a chance, which is a new band to me.
Right.
Still haven't fully digested it.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, there you go.
That's a big step.
That's I'm a crazy kind of guy.
It was on like all the top 10s of the year.
Yeah,
remember when we read those?
I knew nothing about them.
Right, me neither.
Interestingly, so far, having only listened to it a few times through, the vibe I get is sort of a not the pop side, but sort of the esoteric side of Brian Wilson, like late 60s. Real, not heavy on hooks and choruses, but real sort of airy with a lot of harmony and
melodic,
but
not big
really
hooks.
subtle, subtle.
I agree.
And so it sort of sounds a bit like that to me. So from the Brian Wilson fan perspective that I come from, I'm enjoying that, and so I'm going to give that a little bit more time.
Yeah, I wanted to hate that record.
Yeah,
I did, because I was pissed off that there were all these, in my head, all these ridiculous records that were in the top 10 when, my list is so completely different than everyone else's. So I'm listening to all those records with, like a little bit of spite.
right.
You know what I mean? And with a bit of an agenda, I guess.
Yeah.
And I thought that record was all right. It really it wasn't that bad. It was okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
enjoying
I'm
it.
with you.
I'm enjoying it. Also, let's see, a couple of things. I've been listening to the Steve Wilson remix of King Crimson's In the Court of the Crimson King.
How's that?
It's amazing.
Really?
And it's funny because, there's really not a lot of difference. The truth be told, I mean, it's the same record we've been listening to for 40 years or whatever. I personally have been listening to for probably 30 at least.
Yeah.
And very subtle differences, but it makes all the difference in the world.
What are the subtle differences?
The subtle differences are really in the fact that there's real clarity to some of the instruments where it used to just be sort of a wash of that 70s mono mix. Drums always sounded really cheesy.
Bad.
And although he didn't
Thin.
well, although he didn't make them like cannony and big and beefy or anything, they're much more precise. It's not just a general wash of percussion.
Okay.
There's actual drums going on, and the acoustic guitars especially are so crisp, and there's so much high end and vibrancy to it. It's really quite dynamic. And I got to say that although this is a record I've been listening to for probably over 30 years, I never enjoyed it more than I did about 2 hours ago in my car driving over here to the studio.
Funny how that happens.
I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is the same record. It's got Steve Wilson's Porcupine Tree DNA all over it,
Right.
in just very subtle little ways.
Now, did he do the whole catalog, or is he
No,
just
just that album. Just that album.
And I wonder, I find it so interesting that he was commissioned or he volunteered, however it happened, to do just one specific Crimson record.
I don't know the
It's interesting to
backstory,
me.
but I would be willing to bet that as a labor of love, he did it for himself, maybe with the thought of pitching it to Robert Fripp. But I'll bet he started on this before there was a deal in place, because I'm sure Robert Fripp had, ultimately the say to say yay or nay.
But doesn't he have to get the masters to be able to?
Right. Well,
So
I'm sure he had to work that out through Fripp or somehow like that. But I'm sure it wasn't necessarily with the intention of.
He said, "Let me give it a
releasing
shot, and then you tell me
Yeah.
what you think, and then we can go from there."
Yeah.
Or maybe Fripp approached him and said, "Listen,
Maybe.
I love the way your records sound.
Yeah.
And they're obviously friends. Because we know Fripp toured with Porcupine Tree.
and played on some of their tracks.
And then he's played whale sounds.
Yeah.
And whales humping. And
Exactly.
Which is weird.
So really good.
Right.
Really.
That's just. I'm so curious to hear the genesis of how that began. How that started.
Yeah, but the funny thing about it, like I said, is just that it's just such subtle differences, but it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
It's really quite striking to listen
I
to
think
now.
all those early prog records have to be remixed.
Yeah,
They really
That
do.
would be
because some of them are so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, not bad, but just compared to today's standards,
Well,
they're just not up to par.
I don't know if you heard any of the 5.1 surround sound mixes of what Genesis did, what Tony Banks specifically did with the entire Genesis catalog.
I haven't heard the real early stuff.
That's the stuff that benefits the most, because the stuff they did, in the 80s and the 90s, there's not a lot of tweaking going on there, probably just a little noise reduction or whatever.
Right.
But you go back to those early Gabriel records, it is just a huge difference. What a different listening experience it is now.
Does it sound fuller and
Yeah.
bigger?
Sounds fuller and bigger, but without departing too much from what made it classic.
See, to me, that's what that kind of progressive rock should sound like. It's
Yeah.
got to be big and full and dramatic.
Especially, I'll tell you what, the 5-point surround sound remix of the NAMM, especially, because in addition to the music, there's so many little subtle sound effects and footsteps and doors creaking.
Sure.
There's just so much stuff going
story.
on. That's so much more a part of the mix now, and so yeah.
What ties it all together?
Yeah,
I agree.
so I'm in. The other thing I was listening to, because it's been raining so heavily on the West Coast here the last couple of days, I found the greatest driving record for the rain. And that would be Al Di Meola's World Sinfonia. I'm not kidding. It's not a...
You've heard that record, though.
Oh, absolutely. But I was driving around listening to it, driving in the rain, and just going, God, this is perfect rain driving music.
And that guy doesn't suck.
And that guy doesn't suck.
Guy knows how to fucking play.
It's really good.
We got to go to that show.
Yeah, that's coming up in February, I think, right?
Yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah.
That show, when we saw that show at the Roxy, that was fantastic.
Any
That was a good
opportunity
night.
to catch Di Meola is a good time.
For so many years, I wanted to go see him, and I
Yeah.
never did. And I just was like, because it felt like he was here about every 6 months. He would play a small club show, but then when that Return to Forever thing happened,
And now you're part of the cult.
dude, so much. so.
Stop with your coven.
I don't think I'm stopping with that
Okay,
coven.
fair enough.
I think I'm all for it. No, oh, you want to do?
Should we try to get pro?
Okay.
Let's try the phones again. I'm going to go to a little tune here. How about you know what else I've been listening to? I forgot to tell you about this.
What's that?
I've also been listening to the new Wild Hearts. The new Wild Hearts album, Chutzpah.
You were listening to that on purpose?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it rocks. And I'm gonna demonstrate right now, actually.
You're a Wild Hearts fan.
Yeah, here's some Wild Hearts. What are you listening to? Used Bin Radio.
That's nice.
Welcome back to Used Bin Radio. It's Brad Hirsch, Joe Mama with you. And we are happy to have on the line with us Pearl Aday, whose new record, Little Immaculate White Fox, is in store today, and you can check her out tomorrow night on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Pearl, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
We're doing good. Thank you for spending time with us tonight.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, man.
So how was your show last night? We know you played here in Los Angeles. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, we played the House of Blues on Sunset Strip. It was a really good time, and a lot of people came out in the rainstorm, which is like, a big deal for us LA people.
Absolutely.
Right. Because if you believe the newscast, the world is coming to an end. We might never make it out of this El Nino.
Every time it rains, the world's coming to an end over here. It's
That's
ridiculous.
right.
I know. What's
So
up with
funny.
that? People here are just a little retarded is really what it fucking comes down to, I think.
Yeah, they're just not used to it, It's like relax, people. It's rain.
All right, exactly.
Well, Pearl, we want to get into the new record and what you're up to. But before we do, we always like to ask all of our guests the same opening question, and that's, what have you been listening to lately? What's in your CD player or MP3 player these days?
Wow. Why does my mind always go blank every time somebody asks me that? I listen to a lot of classic rock. There's loud music playing right now as well. Is that?
Yeah,
on
no,
you guys?
that's us. We turned it down.
Okay. Okay, cool.
we were giving you a little Genesis while we were letting you think.
Gotcha. What am I listening to lately? I listen to a lot of Otis Redding. Yeah, I'm looking at my iTunes right now, actually.
Oh, good. Well, feel free to read out loud. I love to hear what people's iTunes are, what they got in their iTunes.
Well, I've been prepping for my Jimmy Kimmel TV spot tomorrow night. I've actually been gymming it and working with my trainer. So I guess it would be my workout mix, which is like a lot of Slipknot,
Wow.
Every Time I Die, the Distillers.
Yeah, love the Distillers.
The Coral Fang album. I
Yeah.
love that album.
Yeah.
What else is on there? There's some Machine Head.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely. I like that you're working out, though, to get ready for your Jimmy Kimmel appearance, because does that mean that at any point during your appearance you could just lean over and deck him? Are you just going to lean over and just, knock the shit out of him? Is that sort
Hey,
of...
if it gives me reason to, you never know what'll happen. Come on.
That's, all the more reason to watch.
Strangely, and this is Joe speaking, strangely, Pearl, the last time that I've been to a couple of the tapings over at the Jimmy Kimmel Show, and honestly, the last time that I went to one was to see your dad.
Really?
Yeah, he played, they set up the stage in the back lot, which is where I'm sure they're going to have you, and they get a great crowd back there, so you're going to have a good time tomorrow night, as long as it doesn't rain.
We're actually on the lobby, in the little lobby stage.
Oh,
I think
even better.
Yeah, the outside stage is closed now. It's too cold.
Gotcha.
So.
Even better.
That's because it's El Nino and the world's coming to an end.
To an end,
That's
right.
right. Because of the apocalypse, apparently.
That's exactly right. So, Pearl, okay, I guess we have to get into... Well, here's what I wanted to know. You've been in the music business forever, since you were born. So what took you so long to actually do your own record?
I think it just... maybe it just happened when I was ready for it, you know? People ask me that, and I think that I was just ready for it now. Maybe I wasn't ready to do it before, I needed to collect more experience and get more confidence and meet the right, pair up with the right songwriters,
Right.
Jim Wilson and Marcus Blake from the band Mother Superior.
Great band.
Are just they're a killer.
Yeah.
And we just clicked immediately, writing songs together, and until I'd met them, I hadn't found anything like that. So it just sort of all came together organically, naturally. It just unfolded on its own.
Right. Well, what's so interesting to me about the record is that there are parts of this record that are really heavy. I mean, much heavier than I think I I expected. And I think I stumbled upon you totally by accident. And so when I started listening to some of the songs on MySpace, I think I expected more of a bluesier, Janis Joplin-ish kind of stuff. And there's definitely some of that on the record. But then there's some really like heavy tunes on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I actually remember exactly how you stumbled onto Pearl's music. See if you remember this whole like line of web surfing.
Okay.
Pearl, a few weeks back, we had Qasim Sultan on the show. And I think it was immediately after that you were searching like some Meatloaf links, and you ended up on Pearl's website.
That's exactly right. Well, we went on a whole like when Qasim was on the show, we went on a whole Bat Out of Hell thing with him because it's truly one of my favorite records. So we went on this whole crazy thing with Qasim about how he played on Bat Out of Hell, how amazing that is. And then so I went on a crazy Meatloaf kick, and you're right. And then I stumbled upon Pearl's website. Right. And I guess maybe that's why it caught me by surprise. Maybe I expected some more theatrical stuff from you, and I was shocked at what I found.
Which we should plug right now also, by the way, which is myspace.com/Pearl, and you could check out some tunes on there as well.
Right.
Yeah. I know from going to your website, actually, that you did the NAMM show this weekend. We were talking about that a little earlier. I just wanted to see how your NAMM show experience was.
It was NAMMy.
Yeah?
The NAMM show is the NAMM show.
Did you play with all the new toys?
No, I actually just went down on Friday evening to the Samson party where actually Stevie Wonder made an appearance.
Wow.
And I just couldn't miss it. I got invited, and I could not miss being in the same room with Stevie Wonder.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's huge.
That's why I went down. It was amazing.
Good times.
That's cool.
Now, Brad alluded earlier to the fact that you've been in music basically your whole life, and one of the great little anecdotes that we saw in your bio was that you were on stage when you were 6 years old at Wembley in London, and you want to talk a little bit about what exactly you were doing, because I thought that was fascinating.
Well, when I was a little girl, my dad, he would have me on stage and bring him a different colored scarf for different songs. He used to hold scarves.
Right.
Like a red scarf, Bat Out of Hell, a white scarf for 2 out of 3.
Oh, you actually remember which ones went to which song, though. That's great.
I don't know. I'm just making up as I go along, but they seem to fit right now.
Well, good. Keep going, because we're buying it.
Yeah, I'll just go with it.
Right.
Yeah, and that was my job. I was the little scarf girl, so they dressed me up in my little gourmet jumpsuit, and I would. Not every show, but some shows I would bring the scarf out to Dad before he'd start the song, and there was just this one time. I don't know if I hadn't noticed the crowd before that, but this one time I walked out in my little gold jumpsuit with the scarf in my hand, and I stopped and turned and looked, and it hit me that there were thousands and thousands of people out there staring at me with the spotlights and this and that, and I just lost it, and I started crying like the little girl cry, and the whole Wembley arena just kind of went, "Aw," like a collective, "Aw," and my dad just like scooped me up, but I remember it like it was yesterday because it was such an intense fear, but like fascination at the same time, and it was just because they scared me as a group, but then they supported me as a group, so I felt safe. So It was just this really intriguing sort of span of emotions that I went through my little 5-year-old body and brain and heart at that point, and I never forgot it. And I kind of liked it.
Sure.
That's classic.
And how long after that did you start singing singing backup with your dad?
I started singing backup with my dad when I was about 19.
Oh, okay.
It was after my freshman year of college. And he asked me, he said, hey, because he'd heard me sing my whole life, and he came to me and he said, hey, how would you feel about trying to sing with me on the road? And I said, okay. And he said, well, first, we got a gig at Madison Square Garden. I'm going to give you a live mic, and you're going to stand on the side.
Nice.
You're off the stage, like no one's going to, and then, learn the backups as best as you can, and then you'll stand on the side of the stage with a live mic and sing into it. and we'll have your feed into the board, and we'll take a listen and see how you do. And so I guess I passed. And I sang with him for 9 years after that.
That's great.
You passed your dad's audition. That's great.
Yeah, because he wouldn't just have me on his stage because I'm his kid.
Right.
It's like if I sucked, I wouldn't. If I was a slothy, stucky, in a shitty. Sorry, can I say that?
Sure. Oh, feel free. Go
It's
crazy.
internet video, right? I can say whatever I want.
Absolutely.
Good. No, so he's serious about his show, so I actually had to audition.
Right. Well, because he would do anything for his little girl, but he won't do that.
Oh.
I don't feel good about just
I had to
saying
do
that.
it. I had to do it. So not long after that, suddenly you're on the road with Motley Crue. Now, what was that like? That must have been a change from the Meatloaf audience.
Well, Meatloaf audience is a pretty raucous, man. I mean, that's rock and roll too. It's different kind. I mean, it's a different vibe musically, but they're nuts, know.
Right.
And we were certainly not angels on the road. Me and the band.
Right.
But Motley Crue is Motley Crue. I mean, they're unto themselves, like they are a Motley Crue.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's funny
So
though.
It was wild.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think No. I'm sorry. I was interrupting you. I was just going to say that I don't know. I picture, Meatloaf records are classic records. But I kind of grew up with Motley Crue records, so they're not totally classic records. That's, I guess, where we differentiate the two. That's why I think it's such a stark contrast when we hear, when I read that you were out with your dad for 9 years and then with Motley Crue, that was a little wacky to me. I can't imagine you doing Bad Out of Hell and then singing backups on like Dr. Feelgood. It's just a little weird,
Hey, well, I did it.
I know.
It was a blast. And I'm like a crazy, dorky nerd girl fan of Motley Crue, and I have been since I was a kid. I used to save up my allowance to buy Metal Edge and Circus and Rip, and cut out little pictures of Nikki Sixx and paste them on my wall. So,
oh wow,
that's great.
Nice.
I went and I auditioned for them, and Nikki was the one who told me I got the job. So I mean, I couldn't not have been more jazzed.
Right.
It was just every single night I was like, I am on stage. I'm on fucking stage with Motley Crue. It's insane, and I made good friends with those guys too, and it was just I have nothing bad to say about it. It was a great experience.
Right. Are you a fan? What other bands like 80s metal bands are you a fan of?
Oh.
Or were you just like something about Motley that just clicked for you?
I loved Motley. I loved Bon Jovi. I loved Skid Row. Those were my tops, I think.
Right.
Those guys.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we play a bunch of that stuff. That's good. I love those bands. That's exactly the kind of stuff I think that 80s wise that I grew up with.
Yeah, all the Rip magazine cover stories. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Nice. Well, that answers the next question. I wanted to find out if a metal fan or non-metal fan, how she comes to meet Scott Ian, and how did that all come together?
Well, that was on the same tour with Motley Crue, actually. That was the Maximum Rock Tour in 2000, so it was Anthrax, Megadeth, and Motley.
Oh, okay.
So we were all on the road together, and Anthrax bus was like our hang after the show because Motley wasn't hanging out then. They were being sober guys, and there was no party going on really.
Right.
And so we would go hang out on the Anthrax bus, and Scott and I just clicked as buddies, and I clicked as buddies with all the guys in the band, and then. We were like, oh, you live in LA? I live in LA. So when I got off the road, we were like, let's go hang out. And then it just immediately turned into, okay, we're dating now. Okay, now we moved in together. Okay, now we've been together for almost 10 years. So.
Wow, 10 years.
Yeah.
All from budding romance on the Motley Crue tour.
All thanks to Motley Crue.
Wow. Yeah, there's a word for that. We call it a relationship. That's pretty cool. That's cool. And Scott played on the record, right? And he's playing with you live?
Yes, Scott, and he also wrote on the record as well. He's playing rhythm guitar with me.
Do people who don't know that he's your husband and go see you live and see him in the band, do they like do double and triple takes and go, I swear that's Scott Ian, but it can't be Scott Ian, but I think it's Scott Ian.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten that before. Like, hey, I came to see you, and I looked on stage, and I was like, why the fuck is Scott Ian? What the hell is going on? Yeah, we definitely get that from time to time, for sure.
My wife says that to me every morning. What the fuck are you doing? Who the fuck is that guy?
Oh, she doesn't say, that guy looks like Scott Ian?
Yeah.
She said,
well, and we also get sometimes the people in the crowd screaming, SOD! SOD! Yeah.
that's got to be
Which is
really,
great.
that's
Thanks.
really fun.
Yeah. we won't be playing, oh shit, what's an SOD song?
No SOD tunes on the Pearl tour.
Yeah, we won't be playing Speak English or Die tonight. Sorry.
Right. Where are you? Are you touring? Or are you just doing a couple of one-off gigs and some press? Or are you going to be out there?
No, this is all in the works right now. Actually, we've been submitted to, all the European festivals and the tours, and we're just, working on it right now. Nothing's confirmed at this point, but that's the plan. Definitely to go out and play as much as we can and as many places as we can. So.
Right. Very good. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Pearl Aday, and you can check her out on myspace.com/Pearl, and you can hear some tunes there and get all the latest news and info. And what other things are you going to be performing live? I'm just curious. Would there be any covers? Is there going to be like a Paradise by the Dashboard Light or something like that?
No. Well, no. Actually, on the album we covered a Tina Turner song called "Nutbush City Limits."
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard of it.
Sure.
So yeah, we actually did that last night at the House of Blues, and that'll definitely be in the set list. That's a real fun one. I love that song.
Right. And what other like, I don't know, if it was up to you and you like had your choice of any other covers, nothing that was on the record, just stuff you want to go out there and play. Because I saw in your bio what a fan of like AC/DC and Zeppelin and some of that kind of classic rock.
We're big on covers.
Well, we like to dissect covers. We dissect bands that
we like to
play covers.
dissect the psychology of why covers are chosen.
Right.
We're
Please
geeks.
don't say Zeppelin's rock and roll.
We're
or
geeks
anything
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. If I hear one fucking band play rock and roll one more time,
right,
I'm gonna shit myself.
Or Hotel California. Never need to hear that ever again.
Never again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, probably don't need that one. Or Born to Be Wild. I don't ever hear that again.
You really never need to hear Born to Be Wild. That's right. God,
I've had my life's allotment on that one.
Absolutely.
Hey, one other thing about the record I wanted to ask you is that there's an appearance by Jerry Cantrell. How did that all come together?
Jerry is a really, really good friend of ours, and we had this song called Anything, which is kind of like a broken-hearted, haunting, sort of a mellow, more like vibey song.
Right.
And we just, we were hanging out with Jerry one day and thought it would be great if he could, lay down some really some really cool Jerry Cantrell stuff, a little like Gilmore-ish kind of stuff, and he was like more than happy to. So, that's how that happened.
Very cool. Very cool.
And Ted Nugent's on the album too.
Right. Oh, you stole our next question, so that's good. So tell us about
sorry.
that. No,
Getting ahead of myself.
Don't be sorry. Tell us about working with Ted, and are you a Republican?
And do you own a gun?
Right.
Well, Ted's a friend of ours as well. I'm going to skip that Republican comment.
Okay.
Let's not talk. No politics, no religion, right?
Okay. I don't know. We like to fight on this show, so feel free to bring it.
Yeah, Ted's a great friend of ours as well. I've known Ted since I was a little girl. My dad sang on Free for All album,
right?
Way back when. But yeah, that song "Check Out Charlie" is just a real cool, gritty rocker song, and we thought this could really use some like ripping Ted Nugent feedback.
Yeah.
So
it's funny.
We asked him, and he said sure. So here you go.
Right.
I'm not going to pass that up.
Nice. It's funny. We played that song on the air tonight, just a little while before we brought you on.
Awesome.
And in the back of my mind, I'm going, God, that kind of sounds like Ted Nugent. So yeah, you answered my question. That's awesome.
It's actually Ted in the middle of it, like that middle section, which is just instrumental, that's
Right.
actually Ted and Scott going back and forth at each other.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right. I just got a very funny email that said that you and Scott Ian were in front of our news girl Rachel at the Van Halen reunion show, and we have an ongoing debate here about Dave versus Sammy, and she wanted to know, does that mean that you're definitely a Dave girl?
Dave all the way.
Nice.
Dave all the way.
My
No question.
My partner here is a Van Hagar fan, and I can't relate. It's all about the first 6 albums.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with you. But Van Hagar did have some rocking songs as well. I can't deny that. I have to give it to him.
Right.
But it's different. It's totally different
Yeah.
to me.
See, if I wanted to go see a Dave Van Halen show, I would put on like a Bozo the Clown special. I just can't go there with Dave.
What's wrong with you?
It's not that I don't like the music. The music is lovely. It's wonderful. He's a fine young man, but I just can't fucking look at the guy.
You just don't like the Bosdy Bop?
Oh, it just drives me through the roof.
What is wrong with you?
That's what I'm saying.
I can't do it because Sammy Hagar is such a great singer and such a great musician, and not that Dave's. Well, no, that's just it. I just can't. He looks like a clown to me. The songs are great, but he's a consummate
entertainer.
Let's be honest. Eddie Van Halen carried David Lee Roth. He carried his ass.
Oh, no.
Without Eddie Van Halen, where's David Lee Roth?
Here we go.
Without Eddie Van Halen, where's David Lee Roth?
Vegas, baby.
That's right. Opening for fucking Cher. That's where his ass is.
Hey, I love Cher.
Nothing wrong with Cher, but would you like to see David Lee Roth opening for Cher?
I'd be in. I'd be in.
That could actually be pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Who knows?
Absolutely.
Jeez, this is a no-win situation for me.
Well, we want everybody to go check out Pearl's tunes at myspace.com/Pearl.
And the record is out today. It's Little Immaculate White Fox, and you can check her out tomorrow night on Jimmy Kimmel. And what are you playing on there? You playing the song Mama, is that right?
Yeah. We'll be playing Mama, and then we'll be playing over the credits out at the end. And
good.
A song called "Whore." It's actually a Mother Superior song that we covered on the album.
Nice.
Oh, nice. I love Mother Superior.
I love them too. I just went on that note because I've been getting messages from people like, "Hey, I went to the store today, and that none of the stores have your album." But Scott and I were talking about it today, and it really is like with the big chain stores.
Right.
They don't really give a shit about small and up and coming artists. You know what I mean? So they don't cut down the amount of CDs that they're carrying so greatly. So a lot of those stores won't carry you unless you're mainstream. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
But you can definitely, if you're bummed because you can't find it, you can definitely order it from Amazon.com.
Right.
And that's guaranteed that you'll get it. And it's also on iTunes now too, if you're into downloads. So.
And can you order it for the listeners that are going to just check out a tune or two here from MySpace? Can they order it directly from the MySpace page?
No, you gotta go to iTunes for that.
Okay. So go to iTunes, go to Amazon.com or any other internet form that you like to buy records at, and go check out Pearl's Little Immaculate White Fox.
Yes,
indeed. And then watch her on Jimmy Kimmel and see if she's going to punch him, because she's been working out in the gym.
That's right. Nice.
Very cool. Ripped, man.
Pearl, we want to thank you so much for joining us. But before we let you go, we always have 3 exit questions that we just want to hit you with. What was the first record you ever bought?
Wow.
Silence.
First record I ever
Silence.
bought.
And Bad Out of Hell doesn't count in your case.
No, it doesn't count.
I don't think she bought that record.
No, she probably got one for free. She got an advance.
She knows
I
a
know
guy.
somebody.
Yeah, she knows a guy.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
Who knows a guy. Right, exactly. That's right. So it was probably an Anthrax record then. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. I don't really remember the first album that I bought. I remember the first album. My girlfriend, who I've known since we were 5 years old, I turned about 7, and I don't know why she chose this, but for like my 7th birthday, she gave me on vinyl a Men at Work album.
Oh, was that Cargo?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that record.
Sure.
I
It's a
swear to
great
God.
record.
Yeah, I have it in my iTunes. I swear to God.
I saw Colin Hay at the NAMM show, actually.
I love those guys.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So I remember having that. I think that was like the first in my vinyl collection. And then I got like, Bananarama and George Michael and
Right.
The Muppet Show and stuff like
Of
that.
course.
I was 7. What do you want from me?
Right.
Of course.
No, but the Men at Work thing is commendable. That's
Yeah,
that's
good
pretty
stuff.
good. That's an underrated record because it had the one hit on it that everybody.
Two.
Two hits, and then that was all anyone knew about the record. But if you listen deeper, it's a really good record.
Definitely.
It is.
All right. And second exit question: if you didn't get involved in music, like if the Wembley experience didn't pan out for you and you didn't like it, what else do you think you'd be doing now?
I'd probably be an author.
Oh, okay. We haven't had that answer before. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Are you right? Do you write now? Besides music, obviously, but I mean, do you write?
Yeah, I do. Just for myself. I have stacks of notebooks.
Nice,
Nice.
I like it.
All right. Last question before we let you go, but the most important for Brad and I: if you were trapped on a desert island and you could only bring one Rush album, which would
One, excuse me?
Rush?
One Rush album.
0.
Pearl.
Just not a fan of the Rush.
0. Listen, okay, I would super appreciate the muso aspect of Rush. I really, really do. I appreciate the musicianship. I think it's awesome. I just cannot listen to Geddy Lee.
I'm going to give
sorry.
you. That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to give you a pass on that because it's a totally understandable thing to say. The Geddy thing. More than one person's told us that, and I completely understand it. As long as you get the musicianship and the incredible songwriting and the masterful drumming and the guitar that's just epic and over the top, maybe the greatest of all time and some of the finest albums ever made. But if it's the voice that gets you, it's totally understandable.
Okay.
So he's giving you a pass on that.
That's right.
Thanks.
Pearl, thanks so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. And
Thanks,
we
Pearl.
want all our listeners to go check Pearl out on iTunes and Amazon and MySpace, and you'll love it.
Right. Thanks,
Awesome.
Pearl.
Thank you so much, guys.
You
It was
got
a
it.
blast.
Have-
Thank you.
Have fun tomorrow night.
I will. Thanks so much.
Beat him up. Just punch him right in the fucking jaw.
I'm just gonna get him square in the middle of the face.
I'm telling you, I swear to God, everyone has to TiVo that now or watch it live because I can't wait to see you throw that punch.
Yeah.
This is fucking great. This has been so much fun. Thank you, Pearl. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, so there you go.
there
that
you
was
go.
fun. You have to go check out that record, Little Immaculate White Fox. I'm telling you, what I heard on MySpace, I really loved, and like I said, I was so blown away by, but just how rocking it is, and it's a rock record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what you said.
Do we want to play? We'll play another cut later. How about we do that?
Yeah.
All right, what time is it?
I think it's time for Rachel.
All right, so let's play a song. We'll get Rachel on the phone. We'll sing lullabies to each other.
Yeah, what you said.
I would like to know what the hell's going on in the music news because I don't know anything that's going on.
Oh, well, you're going to find out because you're going to talk to the expert. You're going to talk to Rachel with the music news. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
was your skull. The violence of my heartbeat, the violence of the blood. I will sleep with the cathedral. And one day you'll give up. And I will with you. But I won't know anymore. Keep your eye, pray.
Extra, extra pinball bonanza, Deaf Diamond Blanket makes the big game. Saturday final, faces the champ. Extra, extra pinball, big time mini.
And welcome back to Who's Been Radio.
Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to Used Radio. You know what time it is? It's time for the news because I'm totally out of the loop. Rachel, how are you?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Rocking and rolling.
Outstanding. Thanks for asking.
Have you heard any of the Pearl stuff?
The new music? Her music?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Oh, and what'd you think?
I think that she's very rockin' and has a very soulful voice.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect way to describe it. It was more rocking than I would have expected.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I think I just had this preconceived notion of, Meatloaf's daughter, who went on the road as a touring singer in the Meatloaf band, and that she would be soulful. And I didn't expect it to be as hard and heavy as it is in places. So very surprised and very, very pleased. I liked it.
Yeah, she has it sounds like she can drink you under the table and kick your ass at the same time, but just by listening to her
Right.
sing.
Well, I think she's going to do that. I hope she does that with Jimmy Kimmel tomorrow.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Hope she kicks his ass.
Although, it's funny. I don't know why I keep saying that because I kind of like Jimmy Kimmel. I really do. I think the guy's pretty funny.
What about Jay Leno? She should do that to Jay Leno.
Well,
Yeah.
she's got a big target with that fucking chin.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. You know what we didn't talk about with her was that her, she calls Meatloaf her dad, but Meatloaf is technically her stepfather. Her biological father was the drummer for, I believe, Big Brother and the Holding Company.
The Janis Joplin
Right, and she was
band.
named after
Pearl.
Janis Joplin, whose nickname was Pearl.
Right.
That is in the bio. Joe was giving me the look.
I was giving him a look like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't talk
Right.
about that.
No. That was in the bio, and I think that's really cool.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
I mean, talk about a musical lineage. It's pretty bitchin'.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that? Oh, by the way, the song we were just playing, because I always like to let you guys know what we're playing, that was Cathedral Wall by Marillion off the massive Radiation record. Go check it out, because you can indeed find a better way of life at Marillion.com. Rachel, what's going on in the music news?
Well, I think that Joe might be a little surprised about this, too. Mud Pie will soon be available on Rock Band. Yes,
What?
ladies and gentlemen.
What?
Yes, Rock Band.
That's awesome. Where?
They're going to allow any band or artist, signed or unsigned, to upload their own songs to the game and sell them for other users. And this is going to be available through the Rock Band Network store.
That is tremendous. So you'll be able to play along to Joe Mama's greatest hits on your Rock Band game soon. That's
Wow.
awesome.
Make sure you have a drum kit for your Rock Band, people.
That's right.
So,
Wow.
so Joe, are you now in favor of Rock Band?
Oh, I own Rock Band.
No, but you never play.
I played it a couple of times. I'm not a big
It's not your
big
thing,
gaming guy, but
Now you are.
if I could play with myself.
Well, you can always play with yourself. That's never been an issue.
If I could twiddle my own knobs and play with myself in a dark room in front of a TV set now, I have all the reason in the world to do it.
Right. It's so weird. My headphones are weird. Will you turn me up just a hair in my head? There we go. Much better.
You like that?
I'm back.
Is that working for you?
Hello.
Nice.
All right. So we got Mud Pie.
Mud Pie on Rock Band. That's a pleasant surprise, even for me.
You're going to become a fan. We're going to make you.
Okay.
It will happen.
I'm in. Nice.
Cute.
James Diction is back in the studio with all of its original lineup members.
Right.
They're currently writing new material, although they're not promising that they're going to result in a full studio album. But they are working on it.
I say the over-under on that thing imploding is 2 weeks, and I will take the under.
I want a 20-minute trancey Jane's tune called 4 Days.
Fuck yeah. I don't know. I know they went in the studio when they did that little EP for the Nine Inch Nails Jane's Addiction tour, and they redid Whores from the very first Jane's Addiction album. And I know they had a really hard time because they started writing new material then and it didn't work out, so they just re-recorded Whores. And I know that was really rough. I got a hard time thinking this is going to work out, but you never know. I really hope it does, because I think the chemistry with those four guys is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, but do you think they can recapture what they had?
I don't know, but again, it's one of those things where I'd be willing to listen to them try.
Yeah.
I'm up for them giving it a shot, because I know that Joe and I were talking a little bit about this earlier, but like with the last Jane's Addiction record, Strays, and I think that had was that Chris Chaney on bass, I think, and that did not sound like a Jane's Addiction.
No,
record.
it was like Porno for Pyros or a Perry Farrell solo project
Right.
or something, albeit a good one.
But there's something special when
there's
Eric is in that
something-
band.
Yeah, something special about the original Jane's lineup. So I think a step in the right direction if they really want to recapture some magic. It's more than just the songwriting and the chemistry. I think it also has to do with the state of mind, and I think Perry needs to have some purple dreadlocks and drop some acid. And
Right.
I think that'll put him right back on the road to Jane's Addiction.
And then scream about Birkenstocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing with Jane's Addiction, though, that made them so great was that you never really knew what was going to happen at a live show.
It was the unpredictable element, absolutely.
And if you couldn't even record a live album, that wouldn't even be interesting to me, because every night was so completely different that the perfect musical night of Jane's Addiction was not always the best night of Jane's Addiction.
Right.
So a live album wouldn't suffice to me. So I don't know if they can recapture that magic in the studio. But like I said, I think I'm willing to listen for sure.
Yeah, maybe they're personally just too far removed from the angst and the urgency and the chaos of their early days.
There's a certain separation between, I think, Perry, Dave, and Eric. I think those three guys are like they all three have really strong personalities and are really have a very specific direction that they want the band to go to, and or the songwriting. And I just, like I said, for me, the over-under on that thing imploding is 2 weeks, and I would take the under.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The tour will be great. The record, probably not so much.
I don't even think there would be a record. That's the thing. I don't think they can get there.
It was like when the Sex Pistols reunited. Thank God they didn't record, because there's no way they were going to come up with anything that approached.
Right.
But the tour was great.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
Good times. What else is going on?
Well, it seems to be the year of the memoirs, Black Sabbath in particular. There's an upcoming autobiography from Tony Iommi, Dio, David, Don and Otto.
Right. And Ozzy.
And let's not forget Ozzy already has his bio out.
Right.
So if for all you Sabbath fans out there, it'll be interesting, if you're really into it, get all the books and you can kind of get different perspectives from the band, about the band.
That's wacky. I would be the Tony Iommi biography. I think I'm interested in the Dio biography. I'm totally interested in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
He's writing that, through his sickness. So I mean, you have a whole span of
Right. I mean, the guy's only like 40-some years old. It's not like there's a ton to...
I think he's 25 or 26, right?
Yeah, I think this year he's 26.
That's right, because when he toured with Elf, he was 9.
-9.
That's right.
He was minus
Oh, that's right.
9.
I think he turns 18 this year.
That's incredible that a 14-year-old can do a bio like this. And and we'd read it. Anybody that's 8 years old, I'm interested in their biography.
2 years old and all those hits. Amazing.
It's incredible the fact that his birthday is the same as my son's.
Wow, we just put Dio back in the womb. Nice.
Now, have you also heard that Yoko Ono is going to publish some memoirs, but that's not due until 2015?
I have no interest. Is that bad?
I think it should just be called Oh No.
Oh, no.
Oh No.
You could be my Yoko Ono.
And the Plastic Ono Band is due to reappear.
Oh, wow.
And that's going to feature Eric Clapton and Thurston Moore.
We'll
Paul
be able
Simon.
we'll be able to tune into the Jimmy Kimmel show one night and hear I don't know where that came from.
I have no interest in Yoko Ono. I mean, Yoko Ono is... I just have no interest in her.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I'm not interested in her life. I'm not interested in anything. The only chapter I would want to read is the chapter of the week of John's death.
Yeah. Oh, that would be quite a chapter.
Right. That's the only part that's interesting to me.
I've told you this, but the abbreviated version is about a year ago. I was at a banquet to honor Sir George Martin. And he got up and he did a little discussion and talked about, working with the Fab Four and recording Sgt. Pepper. And it was a big star-studded event. And afterwards, we're at this cocktail party, and I was talking to somebody. As many of you know, I'm a big bootleg fan and collector. And I was talking to somebody, actually it was Jeff Lynne at BLO, and we were talking about, if there's any unreleased John Lennon tapes still in the vaults that the Beatles archivists haven't found and bootlegged yet. And right behind me, this little voice chimes in and says, "There's nothing left in the vault." And I turn around and I'm face to face with Yoko Ono talking about Lennon bootlegs.
Yeah, that's random.
That's random.
Yeah, totally.
Oh no.
Look out.
Got another one?
Phil, when's your memoir coming out?
My memoirs? They'll come out to coincide with the Mud Pie Rock Band game. That's right. So you'll be able to read all of the zany Mud Pie antics on the road, of which there were many.
I don't know anything I can say about that.
Oh, no.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
I know you said you've been kind of under a rock lately. Did you know that there has been a earthquake in Haiti?
Where?
In Haiti. Have you heard about that?
I didn't hear. I can tell you that I was watching football this weekend, and one of the announcers said, "What do you say, Haitian?"
Oh, nice.
So I heard about the earthquake in Haitian, but not the one in Haiti.
That's funny. That's funny.
Tell me about it.
Well, there is a 7.0 earthquake in Haiti,
My
and there's
goodness.
going to be a telethon to support and raise money for the victims of the earthquake.
Right.
And it's going to be broadcast on Friday throughout worldwide, and it's going to feature appearances and performances by Bono, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z, The Boss.
Wait. Bono's showing up for a charity thing?
Isn't that weird?
That's a stretch.
Wow. That sounds so unlike Bono.
This is the one I believe that's being hosted by George Clooney. And Bono's at the top of the list. Sting is also on the list. Christina Aguilera. I think you mentioned Justin Timberlake, and it looks like it's basically on every network. I'm just looking over.
It's on all 5 networks.
Yeah, I'm just looking over the list: ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CNN, BET, HBO, MTV. Everybody's airing this. Everybody except PureRockRadio.net. Sorry, Rich.
You know what I'll be watching?
What?
TiVo version of 24.
There you go.
Because I didn't get to watch Monday night's 24.
There you go. And I need to watch all the most recent episodes of Heroes. but I'm just thinking out loud now. So
You know what? We just got some Academy Award screeners, actually. So I will be watching George Clooney, but it'll be an Up in the Air as opposed to his telethon. I don't really
Gotcha.
love telethons.
Yeah.
That's not my thing.
yeah.
All right, did you donate money, Rachel?
Would I donate money?
Hmm. Did you? Have you, or would you?
I would rather text the money than watch a telethon.
Yeah.
I mean, they're that's painful to watch. I can't stand them.
I just don't know where my money's really going. That's what always bothers me about
Right.
donating money, especially like with the text thing, where you can text and it adds $10 to your phone bill. I mean, I hate to sound like that guy, but how do I really know that money's going where it needs to go?
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. Well, if you don't feel like watching a telethon and donating money that way, another way that you can get involved is Lincoln Park apparently is involved in in their own relief effort, and they're putting together it looks like an all-star lineup for a downloadable record called what's it called? I don't know what it's called, but you'll be able to find it, I'm sure, on iTunes. And it's going to have tracks from All American Rejects, Dave Matthews Band, Slash is in there, Alanis Morissette, even Peter Gabriel's got a tune on there.
Now, these are all unreleased tracks or
I
new
believe,
tracks?
I believe they're all unreleased tracks.
okay.
I could be wrong here, but I think the Peter Gabriel track is one of the covers from his upcoming covers
okay.
CD,
Which
so
doesn't need to ever be released.
little cross promotion there, but yeah. Otherwise, I think they're all unreleased tracks that bands are donating for the relief effort.
Well, good to see everybody band together. Pardon the pun, but good to see everybody come together and do that for Haitian relief. I think the music industry and the film industry, entertainment industry, always pretty good about that.
Our hearts go out to Haitian.
Haitian. The fuck is wrong with Jim Nance? Haitian. Jesus Christ. Fucking guy's going through a divorce where he's like about to give up $30 million to his wife, and he can't pronounce Haiti. Unbelievable. Sorry.
He has a lot on his mind.
All right, a little bit of that.
Sorry about that. What else, Rach?
Well, just
Haitian.
a little fun mention here. Trivium, Opus, and Dream Theater are all providing new tracks on a forthcoming God of War video game soundtrack.
Yeah.
Nice.
I read that. I read that Dream Theater is this is a new track. It's the first time they've ever written a song strictly for like a soundtrack or a video game or anything like that. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's an all instrumental, and it's actually the title is Raw Dog.
I'm in.
Nice.
Anything they do, I'm in.
Pretty much anything they do, I'm all over it.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
So, Brad, are you going to Coachella this year? Is that the big question?
That's a great question.
It's a good question. It's been
Well, let me set this up by saying that a few months ago there was like this whole controversial period in used bin history where people were coming at me from both sides as to whether I should go, because they fell on the same night, whether I should go to the Porcupine Tree Show or David Beckham was playing with the Galaxy here in L.A. And the only reason I chose to go to the Galaxy was because twofold. I'm a huge Beckham fan and I didn't want to miss it, but I knew Porcupine Tree would be coming back at some point. So now fast forward to Rachel's question, and on the same night, the Saturday night anyway, of the Coachella Festival out here in LA, is a show that we've been planning on going to, which is going to be the only LA date for Transatlantic, which, as you know, is members of Dream Theater, Spock's Beard, Flower Kings, and Marillion. And so that seemed like a must-see show for us. But now...
But let me just say this, too, about the Transatlantic show. It's not like those guys tour all the time. This is like... I don't think they've toured in 10 years.
Right.
So they don't put out records for once in every 10 years. And I think the Transatlantic Whirlwind record is one of my favorite records of the whole entire year. I can't stop listening to that record.
I'm with you.
So what would it take to not go see that show?
Right.
Well, Joe, tell them.
Well, we got the lineup today, and the Saturday night, which is the same night as the Transatlantic show, not only is, as predicted, is Porcupine Tree back in town and will be playing Coachella, but they will be playing on the same bill as Faith No More, ladies and gentlemen, are coming to LA.
No More.
And Muse, and Coheed and Cambria. and even a little Devo, and a little
Corinne Rayleigh Bay.
Yeah.
I'm into.
And Les Claypool.
But and Shooter Jennings. I
about
forgot
that?
to mention that. I dig Shooter Jennings.
But a Muse headlining slot with all the bells and whistles, along with Porcupine Tree and Faith No More. I just don't see how we're going to pass that up.
So to answer your question, Rachel, which was a very long way of answering it, I think I'm going to Coachella.
Are you going to go?
I'm going.
Outstanding.
You going Saturday night?
Or are you going to go all 3 days and camp out, or are you just going to?
No. Just that night.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I guess we're going.
I'm so psyched to see Faith No More and Muse and Porcupine Tree. It's just going to be a huge, huge day.
But I got to be honest with you. There's going to be a part of me all day that will be thinking about that Transatlantic show.
Well, we'll have to have one of our buddies will be at Transatlantic. We'll have to have.
I don't want to hear about it.
You don't want.
I might have to pretend it doesn't.
You don't want to get
happen.
real time texts.
No, I might.
Like we did the night we were at Humphreys McGee, and we were getting texts at our buddies who were watching the opening night of the Rush show on the East Coast.
That was great.
No,
I just might need to pretend like it's not happening.
Yeah.
I'm bummed out. I'm really. It's a source of consternation for me.
Yeah. All right.
What do you think, Rach?
I think you should make some phone calls. Maybe you can get the 3-day package and they can come out on Sunday.
Who?
How about that?
Transatlantic. I wish. I think they're like, it's weird too. It's not like we can see them Friday night somewhere. It's not like they're in San Diego Friday night or San Francisco Friday night.
Yeah,
This is the first night of the tour.
I'll have to check their routing because maybe there's another Transatlantic show that we can get to within that period of time. I don't know. I haven't looked at their routing, but
my problem is by that time I'll have a 4-month-old at home.
Yeah.
It's hard to go out like those many nights in a row. But I just feel it's just fucked up, man. This is so bad. Why, Rachel? Why?
Oh no!
Why do they do that to me, Rachel? Why?
I've been in the same predicament. It sucks.
What did you do?
I can't answer that.
I don't know. Yeah, well,
Life's mysteries.
Are you excited about Coachella?
I am, and actually, I didn't know that Les Claypool was playing, and I am a huge Primus fan. So
Oh, then you're gonna love it.
I think they're underrated.
Yes, Primus, underrated. Very good. I think that's a good underrated, overrated.
MGMT, who's been getting a lot of press, they were also on the bill.
Gosh. That's so funny that you mentioned them because I've been so involved with that album this week.
Really?
It's ridiculous.
Oh, you're going to be having a great time then on Saturday. Are
they on that bill? They're on Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday is Muse, Faith No More, Porcupine Tree, MGMT, a band named Tiesto that I'm not familiar with, Devo, Coheed and Cambria, Les Claypool. God, there's so many others on this list, and this is just the Saturday lineup. So, yeah, it's there's a lot going. There's a lot going on.
I got to give Coachella credit. Give these guys credit. It's almost prog day. It's like they're flirting with progressive rock on Saturday. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Seriously,
yeah.
I mean that's a fairly progressive Saturday for them.
Yeah.
And especially because no one will be there Friday night to see Jay-Z. It's like really like the festival starts on Saturday.
Friday night also has Public Image and them Crooked Vultures. So that's
I would love
cool.
to see them Crooked Vultures, and
Yeah.
I would love to see
Grizzly Bear.
PIL.
Grizzly Bear.
Yeah. I'd like to see. Well, Grizzly Bear actually fits on that Saturday bill.
Yeah.
More so than that, and with Jay-Z and LCD Sound System, them Crooked Vultures. Who else did you say was on that bill? Grizzly Bear. Who else?
The Specials, Public Image.
Oh, PIL. See,
Echo and the Bunnymen.
I would love to go see PIL.
Yeah.
I'm in, but except I'm not going.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot going on Friday. Saturday is just going to be amazing.
I think Friday night I'll go to Downey where Transatlantic's playing and just sit.
Just camp out. Just camp out. Okay, fair enough.
With
a big tear coming down my eye, a crocodile tear.
Well, we'll all have to talk offline and hatch our plan for Coachella because I think that'll be a used bin family gathering.
And if anyone else wants to go to Coachella with us, email us. We'll go.
Come join us. Drop us an email at usebinradio@usebin.com, and it'll all be good.
All right, Rach.
You should do a contest.
Like what?
Like a Where's Waldo type thing, or you wear your used bin T-shirt type thing. And
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll think.
Wait a
of
minute. Do we
details.
have used bin T-shirts?
We will.
Oh.
We'll have them by Coachella, and we'll walk around. And if anybody comes up and say, "I see you wearing your used bin T-shirt," we'll like give them a prize or something. Yeah.
Yeah, some bootlegs.
We'll give them a Yoko Ono bootleg.
I'm completely lost. I'm still trying to figure out where the used bin T-shirts are. How come I don't have one?
We're working. Well, because you have Ethan spit all over it.
I do have Ethan puke on my shirt.
Nice.
Nothing like the mixture of breast milk and formula driving with you everywhere you go.
And I left mine at your mom's house. So
Thank you very little.
Thank you very much.
All right, Rachel. Thank you very much for the news, bringing us up to speed.
All right, you guys have a great night.
You
Thank
too.
you.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
And good night now.
So yeah, Coachella will definitely be a huge event.
It's just crazy that on all nights for that to happen, that
Right.
all those bands would be playing on the same night. And like I was telling you earlier, I wonder if there will be a Steven Wilson or a Mike Portnoy appearance at one or the other.
That would
'Cause I
be
think
fun.
Porcupine Tree will be in the afternoon. Although I can't imagine Portnoy will be playing with Porcupine Tree.
No, Downey's an awful ways away from Indio. I think it'd be
you're right,
it'd be
you're
a
right.
really
Yeah,
tough
yeah.
distance for either one of those bands to make. So I don't think that's too likely. But
I really want to go to Transatlantic.
Yeah.
This is really fucked up.
yeah, I'm with you, Papa J. Hook us up. Do something.
Please, brother man, please.
So-
Hey, really quick, I want to thank Prog Mom and Prog Dad. They sent me an email congratulating me on the birth of my son, and I appreciate it. And in their initial email was they congratulated me on a baby girl, and then they sent a correction, not a retraction, but a correction.
Right.
And so, but it's the thought that counts, and I appreciate the email very much.
In fact, in their first email, they thought that you'd have to get your little girl into prog rock.
Right.
And the fact that he's a little boy, you got a much better shot.
yeah,
You got
yeah,
a
yeah.
much better shot. It's in the DNA.
Yes,
And I'm
absolutely.
telling you, one of these days, you're going to sit down, you're going to have the father-son talk.
It's going to be great.
And hand him 2112 and say,
Son,
here it is.
this is what it's all about.
You should videotape
Don't
that.
ever go to school again
Yeah.
unless you can recite these lyrics.
That's right.
So-
Oh, beautiful.
Yep.
Should we take a little break?
Surely.
Let's do that, and then we will come back and wrap things up for the evening. But for now, let's just light up the sky.
Backbreakers coming out of the gates, taking chances with a crash and burn. And there is a wave of beauty, but you never get love. Cross the line with
there, this is Jimmy Page. Keep your radio tuned right here.
Hey, welcome back to Used Bin Radio. How are you? We're just about going to wrap things up for the evening, but I want to remind everybody that after our show tonight is Pure Rock Radio live from Las Vegas, and those guys are on an hour later than they normally are. They're on 5 days a week, and we appreciate them hanging out for the extra hour, being that we have some studio issues that we need to take care of, and they're gracious enough to go on an hour later, and we appreciate that. And they're funny.
Very accommodating of them.
And they're funny. Did I mention to you that I thought that Pure Rock Radio live from Las Vegas was funny?
It's funny.
It's fucking funny.
You know what else is funny? If you're ever looking for like a domain name, let's say, just hypothetically.
Like what?
Why doesn't Transatlantic play on Sunday, April the 18th instead of April the 17th.com?
Or chodesmokers.com.
Or chodesmokers.com, yeah. Or I left my t-shirt at bradsmomshouse.com.
Or I like to do my impression of a seal when I'm alone with a strange man.com.
Or Yoko Ono says, .com.
Well, you know what?
Although I don't know how to spell that.
If you were going to do that,
yes,
you could probably get your piece of the internet with GoDaddy.com.
Wow.
That's right, you could go to purerockradio.net / GoDaddy for coupon codes like 10% off all GoDaddy hosting plans. $5 off any GoDaddy purchase, or $30 or more, or $7.49 domain names.
Wow.
Hey, thanks to this new partnership, all purchases using our coupon codes will directly benefit shows like Used Bin Radio, Pure Rock Radio live from Las Vegas, Radioactive Metal, Good Time Metal Oldies. I can't remember any.
That was right off the top of your head. Not bad.
I hope I'm not forgetting any other Pure Rock Radio
Not
shows.
bad.
They will directly benefit shows like that. That's purerockradio.net / GoDaddy, not / from Guns N' Roses, but / GoDaddy for a complete list of coupon codes. Or enter POD167 to save 10% on all GoDaddy hosting packages today.
That is just crazy, I tell you.
And there you have it.
Wow, good stuff. So this has been a lot of fun tonight. We had Pearl Aday, and we want to remind you all to go check her out at myspace.com/Pearl.
Dude, her dad is Meatloaf.
Her dad is Meatloaf.
Her fucking dad wrote Bat Out of Hell.
Yeah, and she got a free copy. How about that? She didn't even have to pay for Bat Out of Hell. She got it for free because she knows people who know people. And she toured with Motley Crue.
She knows a guy. She knows a guy who knows
She met her husband while touring with Motley Crue.
What I wonder what we didn't ask her about the Big Four tour. Isn't that what they are? The Big Four?
Yeah, Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax,
Slayer, Megadeth,
and Frankie and the Knockouts.
Big Five.
Yeah.
Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax. Wait, what is it?
No, it's the Big
Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax.
Yes, I think that's it.
That's the Big Four.
Yeah, and that's supposed to happen this summer.
I wonder if that's really happening or not.
Apparently it is. You know, in your absence last week, Rachel and I were talking a little bit about the music news, and we talked about how because Tom Araya from Slayer had some surgery.
Back surgery.
Yeah, he can't even stand right now, so they had to cancel all of the U.S. Carnage, American Carnage tour that they were doing with Megadeth. Not cancel, but reschedule. So hold your tickets for that because they're going to reschedule those dates. But apparently he's still at least on schedule for the summer European dates.
Now that's what,
at least for now,
right? And those, I think there's only 2 or 3 of those dates, but I guess they said they were going to do more. That's just a crazy. That's a long day of metal.
Yeah,
and that's not the whole bill.
Right.
A lot of fucking metal,
and that's not even counting Frankie and the Knockouts on the second stage.
Fuck Frankie and the Knockouts. Seriously, now. I mean, come on, really. Enough of those guys.
You know what I wanted to tell you real quick? Because we mentioned it earlier. We were talking about when we were mentioning the Linkin Park charity release for Haitian.
Right.
We mentioned that Peter Gabriel is going to donate a track to the cause. Well, I alluded to the fact that Peter Gabriel has an all covers CD coming out, and I think we've talked about that on the show before.
Right.
And it's going to be called "Scratch My Back."
Who's doing that? I'm sorry?
Peter Gabriel.
Oh, right.
It's called Scratch My Back, and he's doing like some Bowie songs, some Paul Simon, some Elbow, Lou Reed, Bruce Springsteen. But here's the interesting thing that I didn't know until I was researching it today, and I was checking out Peter Gabriel's site today. The reason he's calling it Scratch My Back is because very shortly after the release, which I think is in the next week or so, very shortly after that, he's got another release already planned called I'll Scratch Yours. And this is all the artists that he's doing covers of.
Doing his songs?
Doing Peter Gabriel songs. So it'll be David Bowie, Lou Reed, Bruce Springsteen, Elbow, all doing Peter Gabriel songs. So that's going to be a little nutty. I think...
I got to be honest with you.
No interest?
None.
None?
Do I really need to hear fucking Springsteen do Shock the Monkey? No.
No, that's true. That's true.
I don't even need to hear him do Biko.
No, but I'd like to hear somebody do Family Snapshot. That would be fun.
I would like to hear
or
somebody
some obscure stuff from the first couple of records.
I would like to hear somebody do Games Without Frontiers, but
Sure.
I would like to hear that in a live set in the middle of you know what I mean?
I'd like to
I
hear.
don't need to hear it on record.
I'd like to hear Opeth do Intruder. That would be huge.
I would like to hear Opeth do Renee and Jeremy's lullaby songs.
Sure, why not?
I would like. Why isn't there a lullaby version of Opeth?
Oh,
why isn't there a Rockabye Baby version of Opeth?
I'm sure it's in the works.
You know, there's a snippet of the new Rockabye Baby release. They're doing Journey is the next release.
Right.
It's on their website. You can listen to lullaby versions of Don't Stop Believin'.
As you should.
Yes, as you should. You know what else would be good for that? Would be Night Ranger.
Oh, totally.
Night Ranger would be a good lullaby band.
Yeah,
Don't
I
you
can see
think?
it. I can see that. Good stuff.
That would be pretty wacky, I think.
I know something else I wanted to tell you. I was talking to Pete from the Insulters the other day.
Right.
And apparently he was talking to one of his old pals who has been playing drums, a guy named Ian, who nobody we've heard of, but he's been playing in a lot of local bands. And Pete was talking to him recently and said, "You still playing?" He said, "Yeah, just got a gig with the tribute band." And it's funny, I never have to practice drums, but all of a sudden I'm practicing drums again because I'm playing some really difficult stuff. And said, Pete said, "Who are you playing with?" "I'm playing with a band called Caress of Steel now."
Wow, they got a new drummer.
They got a new drummer. So this guy Ian was...
This is what it's come down to with Rush. We're talking about the replacement of the tribute band drummer.
That's right. This is important stuff.
Ay, ay, ay.
So he had to get fitted for a silk kimono.
A silver... Forget it.
He had to get fitted for a silk kimono so they could do 70s version Rush. And he was telling Pete that he wasn't a huge Rush fan to begin with, but he got the gig, and he's practicing some songs that he's never heard before, include one called Biter the Snow Dog.
Okay. All right, then. Okay. Well, hey, $10 is $10.
$10 is $10.
Speaking of Rush,
yes?
I did read on the Rush as a Band website that it looks like their plan now, as far as is not to make a traditional record, but they're just going to start releasing some songs here and there.
Right. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about it either. Although I know, like, the Smashing Pumpkins are doing that, and they've just released they released 2 songs already, which I started to listen to today, and I got sidetracked. But I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Although I will say that I respect the fact that Rush is always, you know, they're never behind the curve. They're always right in line with technology and what's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is the new way, I guess, of releasing records, or releasing songs. I don't know, man. It seems weird.
I'm just used to, you know, an hour chunk of music all at once to digest, and a specific visual image, an album cover or something that ties it all together for me.
Yeah.
And no, you know, you can't judge a Rush album by its cover, but that visual image is sort of the stamp for that period, that era.
Well, maybe what you'll get then are you'll get different pieces of artwork for every song.
Yeah.
But the thing is
Perhaps.
the only thing I would say is, does that mean that they're going to wait until they release like 8 or 9 individual tracks before they tour? Because if that's the case, why not just release a record?
Yeah, exactly.
Or is they going to continue to release a song while they're on tour? Like maybe every month release a new song, or every 2 weeks? Because if that's the case, then maybe it's an opportunity. It opens up the set list a little bit.
Okay. No. I think we're dreaming at this point.
Is that a stretch?
I think we're dreaming at this point.
Am I pushing it a little bit?
The fact that they might release 8 songs over a 16-week period means they're going to play the same set that they played at the beginning of the tour all the way to the end of the tour.
God damn it. I'm trying. I really am. I'm trying to figure out a way to make my dream become a reality.
But, you know, by releasing, let's say, 8 different songs over a 16-week period, it certainly opens up the set list for the Caress of Steel Trash Tribute Band in their silk kimonos. So thanks, Ian.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ian. So
That's funny.
that's pretty much all I got for tonight. So we got some thank yous. Why don't we get to a little bit of the thank yous?
Okay. Let's thank Rich over at purerockradio.net.
Thanks,
hey,
Rich. Hey, thanks, Rich.
And let's
Rich.
thank Sean Gordon at progrock.com.
Thanks, Sean.
And let's thank, I don't have my notes with me.
Oh, our website is almost done.
Yes.
Almost done.
That's right.
Thanks to...
I don't have my notes.
Thanks to Chris Stone.
Yeah, but his partner, and I can't remember.
Rob Wilson.
Rob Wilson. Well
Yeah.
done.
Thank you very much.
So thank you guys for that. That's exciting. We saw a little bit of that tonight.
We saw the prototype of the upcoming Used Bin Radio website.
Right.
It's coming along.
So we have some new we have some new stuff to put up on the YouTube site as well.
As always, thanks to Max Krasny and Terry Edwards at Westwood One Radio.
Yes, and thank you for listening. Thank you for participating, and thank you basically for just being rocking out with us. Make sure you send us some emails over the week. Let us know what you've been listening to. Usebinradio at usebin.com. We want to know what you've been listening to and all that kind of good stuff. Any fun, good concert stories. If you're going to any good shows this week, we want to hear about it.
If you have any suggestions of whether we should go see Transatlantic or the Coachella Festival, we're ready to let that debate begin now.
I have a hard time thinking that our minds are going to be changed there. But,
yeah.
And as always, stay tuned.
Unless like Neil Morse emails us and says, "What are you guys thinking?"
Okay, maybe then we change
Then
our
maybe.
minds. If Portnoy sends a car for us, then we're going.
That's right.
All right, as always, stay tuned for Pure Rock Radio live from Las Vegas coming up right after this show.
And congratulations to you and Leah.
Thank you very much.
Big news lately,
Appreciate
and I'm glad to have you back.
Nice to be back.
Nice
Thank
to see you.
And to see you, as always, is just very nice.
Used Bin Radio. What are you listening to?
You're strapped in to a live radio broadcast on Pure Rock Radio.